Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast, Speak to Impact with Kaye Walker. Today, we are going to have a really fun time talking to Lydia Taggart and also evaluating a speech that she gave this weekend. And I was the MC at the event. So I'm very excited for this one. It's going to be awesome. So, Lydia, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
All right. The biggest elephant in the room is that I have quadruplets, and I I also have two other kids. They're a couple years older. They're all grown now. We made it. We lived through all of it. They're all adults. Whew.
Right?
And I am very happily married to my husband. He's stuck through all of it with me and very blessed. And we live in Layton, Utah right now. Um, just love everything about life right now. Feeling
That
very
is awesome.
blessed.
Yay. Okay, and tell me, why did you want to become a speaker?
Well, when all those little kids were little, we had a nanny who came over and helped us a little bit. She became a very, very good friend. And one day she found out that there was an essay contest for this event called Time Out for Women. And if you won, you got front row seats. And then you got to
Mhm.
go backstage and meet all the presenters and oh. And so she calls me and she says, Lydia, you have to enter this contest. I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And the night before it was due, there were like 2, maybe 3 hours before the essay contest was closing. And she calls me and she says, Lydia, you didn't do it yet, did you? You have to do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, it's only a couple hours. I've been busy changing diapers, whatever. And so I took it to God and I said, if you want me to do something and share the story about what's happening here, then I'll win. And wouldn't you know, I won. And so I was
Yeah.
sitting on the front row and I turned around and the thousands of people and I waved and I was like, this is kind of cool being in front of people. Yeah. And then I went backstage and I met Brad Wilcox and a bunch of other people. I love Brad Wilcox and he super encouraged me. I was like, yes. It was super, super amazing, but that wasn't the real thing. The real thing was because I was on the front row and because I was easy to find, there was somebody else in the audience who had just found out they were having quads join their family. And she was able to find me, and I was able to help her and encourage her. And it's not about me, it's not about
Oh,
what I can do other than be easy to find and encourage and help others. So God told me to, and I'm going to do it.
I love that. You had to be easy to find. You
Yeah.
do get easy to find when you're a speaker, don't you?
Yes.
That is definitely a side effect of becoming a speaker. I love that. Oh, awesome. All right. Well, we have a recording of you from this Saturday, and we are gonna watch it, and I might stop us in between. Um, Often when I do an evaluation, the person actually speaks live on the podcast, but I like it so much better when it's a recording of you on stage with a real audience because the energy you can't even compare. It's so different, right?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I'm very excited to use an actual professional recording. Thank you to Tyler McCullough for recording our event for us. He did a great job. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and then we are going to watch your speech. I'm so excited.
All right, we are going to talk about some awesome stuff. Can you guys hear me? Is my mic on? Okay. Oh, nope, not that one. That one's a good one, but that's not the one we're looking for. We're going to be talking about leadership resiliency. But first, we need to decide and agree on what is leadership. This is the Leadership Resiliency Roadmap. Oh, that button.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of things. First of all, I texted everybody that morning and said, the stage is very black. Please don't wear black. And you're actually the only one that didn't wear any black. Good job. But I love your outfit. It's so bright and colorful. And if you are, if you're not familiar with the Carol Tuttle energy profiling system, look it up. It's really interesting. But she says you should wear certain colors based on your energy type. And Lydia and I are both type ones, so we should wear bright colors. And so I was very happy to see you not show up in black like most of the other people did that day. Also, let's talk about the technical issues. We didn't have time to get you set up and tested beforehand, and you've never used this clicker before, and you weren't sure where to click because your laptop was actually across the room behind a wall.
Far
So,
away.
yeah. And if we had started earlier, we could have gone all through that. So good thing to remember is if you're going to use technology, it's always a good idea to go early and insist that the people doing AV get you set up and make sure everything works and you know how the clicker works and where to point it. We didn't have much time because we started late, but good job not getting all upset or flustered because I have seen and heard of speakers who, when their technology doesn't work, they like lose it. They get upset, they get mad, uh they'll insult the AV people or make fun of them or mock them. And so you handled it very well. So good job with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna hit play.
Does that work? Do I have to aim it somewhere else? Okay. Leadership is not about managing tasks. Everybody agree on that?
Okay, I would recommend if people don't answer you, especially at the beginning of your speech, you've got to establish the authority as the authority figure. And so when you ask a question and raise your hand because you obviously want them to answer to and they don't, then what I suggest is to say something like, "Oh, that wasn't a rhetorical question. I could see how you thought it was, but I really want to know, do we agree on that? Raise your hand." So you're stepping into, the power of being the authority of the room and not letting them get away with, I don't want to say disobeying you, but letting them get away with not following your instructions as an audience. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even though I saw some head nods, I can see that now watching the video. I was like, they didn't actually raise their hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good thing to notice. All right. It's cool to be able to watch it back on video
It
because you
is.
notice totally different things when you're on stage than when you're watching the video later.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
It's about inspiring individuals so that we can all thrive together. Because a leader needs to have a group of people. I started my leadership when I noticed that I was a leader as a mother. But everywhere you go, no matter what you're doing, if you're with a person, you're going to be a leader. 70% of employees' engagement, meaning that they're happy to be working and they're involved in actually doing their work, 70% of that is influenced by the manager. And engaged teams are 21% more productive and 17% more profitable. Okay, that's a statistic. What does it mean? It means if you have $100 that you're going to be.
That was really good that you said, what does that mean? Because, and I know I've taught you this before, but maybe the audience listening hasn't heard this before. There are different kinds of people in your audience that respond to different kinds of things. And the group of people that respond to statistics are usually ignored in every speech. They never get their dopamine hits. So it's really good that you covered statistics for them. But then the rest of the room is like, huh? So I love that you very deliberately addressed both groups, the statistic people and the non-statistic people. That was really smart of you.
Thank you. Earning, and you have someone who's not engaged or involved in their work, they feel like they just have to be there. they're being treated mediocre, so they're going to give mediocre results, then you're only going to get $83 out of that $100 that you should have been making.
Ooh,
Okay,
that was
do you
good.
feel like this? Whoa! There's so much to do, right? We can get overwhelmed and lost in the to-do list. When I was a mom of
I think I would have actually waited for them to think about that for a minute and then all very wholeheartedly agree with you if that was them. You just kind of moved through it quickly, but that would be a good chance to pause and get a little more audience engagement. And I adore your slides. The artwork that you did, and you told me you had Chat GPT do it. It's
Yeah,
so bright and colorful and matches you so perfectly. I love that your slides are all type 1 energy. It's awesome.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All of our quads, and they were little. I'm still a mom, right? But when they were little, I was so overwhelmed. I felt like this, could not get it together. And I was sure wishing I could be an octopus. I would always tell my kids, I'm not an octopus. There's too much. I'm not an octopus. Look how octopus, they're so calm. They have enough arms to do everything. And oh, it would be so awesome. The Leadership Resiliency Map is how to get us to be like an octopus. And everything can just kind of flow and go.
That's cute.
The 3 steps in the resiliency map are remember, reimagine, and recommit. And when we do these things, when we talk about them, we're going to be doing some motions to get our bodies in motion, okay? So we're going to practice. Raise your hand over here like this. And now do it on the other side. Okay, our bodies are working. We'll come back and practice more in a minute.
That was good.
Because we want to be that calm, cool, collected, I got it together, instead of, what the heck, whoa, right? We want to be resilient. Now, it all started, I was in the doctor's office, I was sitting on that brown exam table, covered with the paper, it kind of crunched under me, clashed with the walls, but that didn't matter, that's not why I was there.
You're doing a snapshot.
Yes.
I love it. You talked about what it looked like, what you heard, what you felt. That's perfect. I love it when people use a snapshot to tell a story. So good job with that. Yay.
The doctor looked at me and he said, it's not twins. So I called my husband and through the tears managed to say, there's 4. There's 4 of them. We're having quadruplets. I don't know if you can tell, but in this picture, I'm doing the octopus smile. Right? But it really did happen, and we figured this out. I became a best-selling author while they were growing up.
I think you need to explain what the octopus smile is. What is the octopus smile?
It's the smiling through it, even though you're not really with it.
Oh, okay.
Faking it.
It's the fake it till you make it smile?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe call it that instead. Because when people wonder what you meant, then you lose them for like at least 5 seconds while they're thinking, well, was it because she had a smiling octopus before? Or like, what does that mean? So, you know what I mean? If they're trying to figure out what that was, then they don't hear the next few things that you say. So let's call that the fake it till you make it smile. Deal?
Awesome.
Okay, cool. And those quadruplets are adorable. Good picture.
Great. And in that process, I was able to find these principles that are foundational for anything, not just life, but also business. We need to be resilient and have resilient relationships. Because it's not about the to-do list. It doesn't matter how many things are on the to-do list. It's about who is doing the to-do list. We got to take care of ourselves and remember who we are first. Every solution to every problem begins with an individual. And the first individual we want to talk about.
That would have been a good spot for a really long pause. So people could think about, well, what does that mean? Is that true? Because whenever you make a blanket statement like that with every solution, people are going to automatically want to argue with you and say, well, I mean, not everybody, but there's a lot of personality types that would be like, well, I'm not sure that's true. Let me think about that for a minute. So that would be a
Right.
really good long pause, like at least a 3 count, maybe even a 5 count would be good.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Is ourselves. Everything comes from within ourselves. So we want to remember, okay, you got your hand, we're ready? When we say remember, we're going to put our hand on our heart and go, I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember me. In that time when I was just a mom, I became Justa. I had the Justa syndrome. I was just a mom. And I wasn't enough. I couldn't be a good enough mom or even enough because there's so many of them. I was like, oh. And in this crazy, crazy time, I didn't know all the people who were helping us. We had a lot of people helping us, tons of people, and I didn't know who they were. Not all of them. And one day my friend says, I'm going to go take you to meet so-and-so. She's been helping out. And I said, okay. Okay. There was so much work to go meet someone because I was depressed, not enough, just a mom.
I might go into a little more detail there and talk about like maybe how you were hiding in your room and you didn't want to get dressed, you didn't want to get out of bed. You just wanted to like burrow in under your blankets while the world happened around you. And to be forced to get up and go meet somebody when you were just at your absolute capacity already was like torture.
Yeah.
So maybe a little more of that kind of detail would be good there.
Awesome.
Okay.
And when I went and I met her and I was introduced to this sweet, sweet friend who had been taking care of our older two boys while I was on bed rest, I was introduced as the lady with all those kids. And all of a sudden, I wasn't even a mom anymore. I was just the lady with all those kids. And the world got dark, and it started fading away, and it was thick and heavy, where I can't be anything. I'm nothing. Not even a mom.
Okay, I want you to not smile when you do this part. And I know you are a naturally smiley person and that's hard for you. But focus on looking sad when you tell
Okay.
this part. It would be way more powerful if you looked sad instead of, you know, grinning a little bit because you're so cute and happy now. Yeah. And I know that's super hard to do. I have the same problem because I'm also naturally smiley. So it takes a lot of awareness of your face that we are not, no, nobody is used to doing that. So
Right.
that is a new muscle to work on.
All right.
Yeah.
Totally. And then I heard her voice pierce through that thickening darkness.
Good movement.
Grabbed a hold of my heart,
Yes.
yanked me back, and she says, oh, I don't know. I help lots of people. What's your name? I have a name. I'm a person. I have a name. And all of a sudden, I wasn't just a mom or just a anything. I was the mom. Because there's no such thing as just a. anything. You're not just an employee, you're not just a manager. There's no such thing as just a. We're individuals. Every group of people is made up of individuals, even if they all come at the same time as quadruplets. We need to remember who we are. Ready? And then we remind the people around us who they are. We make sure we know that we are the most important person on the team. And then we go tell them and make them feel that they are the most important person on the team. We can't do it alone. Okay, we're going to next step is reimagine. When we reimagine, it's like you get a great idea. Aha. Okay, ready? Practice. Aha. We got remember. And reimagine. Aha. You guys are awesome. Okay, I'll tell this story. When we had all the people coming and helping, I used to think you had to do the dishes a certain way and you had to do the laundry a certain way. Did you know there's more than one way of doing dishes? Put them on the top rack, put them on the bottom rack, wash them by hand. There's so many different ways. Laundry is the same thing. Even though we had labeled the drawers, put the socks here, put the pants there, they never ended up there. It never ever happened, right? Doesn't matter. But the laundry always got washed and cleaned and folded and put away somewhere, and the dishes always got done. Because there's more than one way. And if we're not getting the results we want, we need to reimagine. Aha! Reimagine how to do it. There's even more than one way of walking down the grocery aisle. I was in the grocery store this one day with my son, my youngest, Merrick, and he was having his one-on-one time with mom. And I'm pushing the basket, and he gets there and he's like, checking out the aisle. Yeah, all right. And I'm like, what's going on? What is he doing? And he looks at me, makes sure I'm watching, and then he does a heel click. And he lands and he looks back at me and says, how much trouble am I going to get in? Because that's not how you're supposed to grocery shop, right? It's not how you're supposed to do it. And he looks at me, and I was like, remember, and reimagine, aha. And I kept telling myself in my head, don't squash him, don't squash him. And because I know that by small and simple things, amazing things can happen, I did a small and simple thing. I smiled at him, gave him a little nod of approval, like it's okay. Oh, he got so excited. He went heel clicking through the store over and over and over and heel clicking all the way. He didn't care if anybody was watching. He was so happy to be approved and validated. And you should have seen when we walked out of the store and he no longer had the confinement of the aisles. And the wind caught his excitement, and he did this most giant heel click ever as he soared across the sky. There's a little boy holding his mom's hand going into the store the normal way. And he yanks on his mom's hand. He says, did you see that? When we reimagine how things can be done, we influence the people around us. And it changed that little boy's life for a moment. But it really changed Merrick's life a lot. And this was a ripple effect of my leadership, of remembering, and reimagine. You guys remember it. And it changes things, right? Oh, how many ways can you do the dishes?
I think it would be good to talk about how it changed America's life.
Mm-hmm.
Give some examples. Maybe
Yeah.
what he was like before and what he was like after, or, what changed. That would be good there.
Many, many. How do you grocery shop? We don't always heel click, but sometimes we do.
I never heel click when I go.
Small and simple things are key. I'm going to give you a small and simple step at the end that I hope you'll do. Because you all have permission to reimagine any situation. Okay, the third step in the roadmap of resilience is to recommit. When we recommit daily, as often as we need to, it's the key to winning. So what we're going to do with this one, you can do it as small as you want. We're going to do a victory dance. I'm going to do mine big because I got lots of space. Okay, so we're going to recommit. Oh yeah. Okay, good. Can you see yourself winning? When we recommit to the small steps, we get to win. Failing is just giving up before you get there. There's no such thing as not being able to win. When we can commit to a 5-minute moment, it's like magic can happen. When we brought all the kids home, have you ever heard of middle child syndrome? We suddenly had a middle child, and he wanted to make sure he was not overlooked or forgotten, started acting out like crazy, acting out so much, I went and talked to the doctor about it. Guess what the doctor said? You just need to spend more time with him. And then he laughed and said, good luck with that. So I went home and I set the timer for 5 minutes, and I said, Dallas, you get 5 minutes of mom time, uninterrupted, focused. Whatever else is happening can happen for 5 minutes. And wouldn't you know, within a couple of days, he was like, I really need that. I'm going to go play. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to have fun. He knew that he could have that moment anytime he needed it. He knew he wasn't forgotten, even though crazy was happening. And he knew he was seen and he mattered. We just set the timer and do it. Because miracles happen in those 5 minutes. And it's not just at home. It's everywhere you go. We need 5 minutes. We need 5 minutes of attention. We need that 5 minutes of time. Imagine what would happen if you had, at the workplace, 5-minute moments set up, and you spent 5 minutes with your people. I know we say,
I feel like there's a little bit of confusion or disconnect with the recommit and the victory dance and the 5-minute moments. Like it doesn't totally make sense to me. Does it to you?
it's kind of choppy.
Okay.
It's like before we were saying the face. It needs a cohesive
Yeah.
uh, piece together. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So you're going to work on that.
totally, yes.
Perfect. Okay, good. Because I could see those things working maybe in a different order. Maybe the victory dance is after you do the 3 R's, then you have the victory dance, maybe. So maybe the recommit needs a different action
Oh,
or,
instead.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, and if, I mean, you did have 30 minutes and you didn't quite use them all. And so because I know you, I know that your son quit talking for a while.
And I didn't talk about that at all.
Yeah. So that,
I didn't see a clock. It's kind of like at the beginning, making sure the tech was ready and where to click, and I didn't see where the timer clock was. So I was
yeah.
overly conscious of not going overtime.
Yeah. So had you been planning on talking about him not talking?
No.
Oh, okay. I think that's really important. for this, if you're going to use the 5 minute mom time as your
Hmm.
example, then I think it's really important that you also say, as the middle child and the overwhelm, he just stopped talking completely. And so, in order to help him start communicating with me again, we instituted the 5 minute mom time. And
Because
then,
actually, my older son stopped talking,
oh, I thought it was
and my
the
middle
other
son
one.
went the opposite way. They stopped talking and overtalked.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't include it because, and this is great to ask you because
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring in too many stories and overwhelm because I know 6 kids, and if everybody's got a story, then it
Yeah.
gets hard to follow. But um, I can like bring it in anyway somehow because
Maybe you could
the
combine the two older ones.
yeah,
You could say one went off the rails, nonstop talking, and the other one completely stopped talking and
yeah,
became silent.
and he was very verbal, and if a 3-year-old could be verbally abusive, he was.
Oh, see, yeah, I think maybe
Yeah.
you need to add that because that shows that you as the leader of 6 children, the mother, you had a conflict that needed to be fixed. And, so if you're going to relate this to business owners and bosses and
Hmm.
managers, it's good to have a specific example of the problem so that they can go, oh, okay, well, I could see how that could relate to so and so doing this at work. So yeah, I do think you should include the stories of the two boys, the two
Okay,
non, the two
can I ask a
non-talk.
question about that?
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I used to be speaking about the frame formula and communicating, and it felt like it was too much. And that was our solution wasn't actually the 5 minutes, it was part of the frame formula. And within the frame formula, it's like kind of like the hierarchy of needs of communicating that I was able
Yeah.
to bring all of the relationships in our home under some sort of harmony. But
Okay.
then I forgot the first foundational layer below the frame formula is the re step to reframe everything. And this is the re-step basically. So I was trying to simplify it, but do you think that it would be more effective for the audience and more beneficial to have the frame formula as part of it and not just the re-step?
Possibly. It
Okay.
might be. And we'd probably need to hear it. Like you'd probably need to give it all to know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be, so you want the main one to be the roadmap, and then maybe just for the third step, you introduce the reframe formula? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I was thinking of renaming the re-step, which is part of the reframe formula, and just have the re-step be the roadmap.
Oh, I like
It would
that.
be easier to
Yeah,
follow.
just the roadmap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think I think we should play with that. And
Okay.
do you have another speaking gig lined up right now?
I have one on a cruise in a couple weeks.
What?
There's this cruise. You should all go on this cruise with Kelly. It's amazing. And you get to present your speech and
You're
practice and
so
learn
funny.
stuff.
You're so funny. That unfortunately is only five
That
minutes.
doesn't really count. Yeah, it's not the whole thing.
So dang. But yes, you do have an upcoming speaking engagement. Do you have a longer one after that lined up?
Not currently lined up.
Okay.
No,
Okay, so there's not a pressing deadline. That's good.
no.
Okay, so I think for the next time you give this, we we weave in the frame formula and maybe change a few names of things possibly.
Awesome.
But I could see you combining them to make a more cohesive um I don't know, flow of things. But I think it's really good the way it is. And I mostly gave you positive feedback.
Mhm.
Just a few things to make it maybe smoother. Yeah. Shall we watch the ending? Let's
Yeah.
let's see if you stick the landing.
not to get your phones out, but you can get your phones out here. And this QR code is going to take you to a place where you can sign your commitment that you're going to do a 5-minute moment. I really want you to do this and get these miracles and these relationships in your life so that you can have, like miracles, they're miracles. Imagine what would happen if everybody at work felt seen. They didn't feel mediocre, they didn't feel like they're just a number. They felt like they were worth at least 5 minutes of the manager's time. What if you got Christmas cards that said, "Thanks for being a great boss"? What if you felt like giving your boss a card that said, "Thanks for being a great boss"? This is a real Christmas card. I've blocked out the name and the business for their privacy. It really happens. When we feel known and seen, miracles happen. I'll take it another step further. What if you had 5-minute moments with your team so that they knew they could come and knock on your door at any time and say, "I need to talk." And then they say, "I went to the doctor. I'm really nervous." And then you say, "How's your wife handling it?" And they say, "I haven't told her yet." You have a few more words of encouragement. You part with a hug. And you say, "Now go tell your wife." That's an employee who has enjoyment at work, feels supported, is not going to leave early. They're going to give all they can to their job because they're not just an employee. It's not just a bunch of coworkers. It's a support team. We spend almost all of our time at work. Shouldn't we have these kind of relationships where we're spending most of our time? And it's all because they had set up, remember, reimagine, aha, and recommit. Oh yeah. And when you do this, you are resilient. You can watch those leadership ripple effects change the world. Thank you.
Awesome. I like your last slide. That's nice. I clicked on your QR code and I have feedback on that too. It's just some questions. Although I love that you said, please share a testimonial. Maybe say of my presentation so they know for sure what you mean by that. But I feel like it would be more helpful if there was a little blurb about what the 5-minute moment was. Again, like just to remind them.
Make it bigger.
And like maybe have a title across the top because it's just like my phone won't show it. It's just a form with no introduction or title or anything. So I would do a little thing at the top that says 5-minute moment commitment form, and then have a little blurb again about the thing they're agreeing to do. I think that would be a little easier for them to want to do. How many people did it?
10.
10 out of 42. Okay. So that's an interesting number to look at. Why did not more of them do it? Right. So it's always good to, whenever you speak and you've got some kind of conversion that you can track, you always want to try to figure out, well, why did I get this number of conversions and what can I improve to get higher conversions? Because that's a very low risk conversion. All they have to do is say, yes, I commit to a 5-minute moment. So that not more people did it tells you either they didn't fully understand it, what they
Yeah.
were committing to, or they didn't see a problem in their own life that they needed the 5 minute moment for.
I was
So,
thinking I should tell the stories more and then have the commitment after all of the stories.
yeah, yeah, that might work. I think it's got good bones. Some things just need rearranged and
Hmm.
and some of it smoothed out a little bit.
Yeah.
I got confused by the boss card. Who was that to you?
No,
What
it
was
was to actually my husband, he uses the system at his work. He's a manager.
so your husband got that card?
Yeah.
Did you say that and I missed it?
No, I didn't say where it was from.
Mm.
I probably should.
Maybe I think maybe you could add that in there. My husband's been using this at his office where he is the manager, and just to show that it works, here is a thank you card he got for being such a great boss. Maybe just a little bit of a segue there so people knew what
Hmm.
that was about. All right. Do you have any questions about it, about your presentation?
No, I want to make the ending not down. I want to change that a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Let's stop sharing.
I think I'm really critical of myself and I want to change a lot of things.
Oh my
But
gosh,
it's
right?
um is really, really great to get all this feedback because all of the things that you've said have been things that I've been wondering about, you know.
Yeah.
Am I having too many stories? Am I having enough stories? And you know, all of
Yeah.
those details. So
That's good.
helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got quite a bit of experience speaking, so it makes sense that you would have already been thinking those things because you know what makes a good speaker, and you are a good speaker.
Thank you.
So that's good. Awesome. Um, yeah, I don't think I have anything else. That was really fun to do it with the recording, so I could just stop and say what I wanted to say. Because when I do it the other way, I have to save up all my notes and then go through all my notes at the end. So that was awesome. Thanks for letting me do it with a video of you.
Yeah, it was super fun having the video. I love seeing like the audience interaction or lack thereof. That's super
Right?
helpful.
Yeah, it's really good to see. I recommend everybody always record themselves speaking because it will make you a better speaker faster than anything else to watch your own presentations on video. And
Yes.
it is painful and cringe. And yeah, it's so good though.
Yeah, they turn the sound off and just watch the body language. I laugh every time so
I
hard.
know, isn't that funny? I love that. I was thinking about your actions, and I feel like maybe the is too long.
Hmm.
And maybe they just go, just one,
Ah, yeah.
like I know myself, and it's like a sigh of happiness. Mm. And then maybe there's just if you want to shorten them, instead of the aha, go ding like a light bulb over your
Oh,
head.
fun. Yeah.
That could be fun. So go, ding.
Yeah. I was thinking also practice with them more than once to
Yeah,
make them
that's a good
actually
idea.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, a little more audience engagement is always good, I feel like,
Hmm.
because then they feel seen and heard and they connect with you more on a deeper level. And maybe they would have more of them would have filled out the form at the end if they had felt more seen and heard. It's
Maybe. Yeah.
what'd you say? What do you
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, maybe, yeah. And we don't know. We don't know for sure. We don't know why more didn't sign up. But 10 out of 40, that's good. 25%. That's not a bad conversion rate, right?
Yeah.
But
But I can't count one of them was my son. And his testimonial was, I like your mashed potatoes. So that one doesn't really count.
that's so cute. I love it. My son loves my mashed potatoes too. That's funny. Oh, I love it. Well, this was awesome. And I'm excited that we match. We matched today. We were talking about that earlier before we went live. Thanks for letting me do this. I know it can be really scary and vulnerable to have somebody critique your speech, but you had so many good things, like, so many positives. Only a few things to work on. So
But it's so
it's
helpful.
a win.
And I'm in this for a reason, not just to like do nothing. If
Yeah.
I want to get better, then I need the feedback.
Yeah.
I
Good.
need someone to actually say how to get better. So
Good.
I really appreciate it.
I'm glad you were open to it. All right. Well, Lydia, if people want to get a hold of you, how can they find you?
Lydia Taggart. My
Okay.
email is lydia@lydiataggart.com. And I am on Facebook at Lydia Taggart.
Nice. So you'll give me those links and I'll put them in the show notes. So like if you can't figure out how to spell Taggart, Taggart, it's not hard.
Right.
But if you can't figure it out, I'll put the links in the show notes so people can just go click on them and find you too. But I know some people can't find show notes, so it's always also good to say it. LydiaTaggart.com. Lydia@LydiaTaggart.com if they want to email you. All right.
Oh, and it's spelled Lydiataggart.
Good job. Good job spelling it. All right. Well, that is all I have. Anything else?
That's all. You're amazing. Everyone should go on all of your cruises and come be interviewed and visit you, and it's awesome.
I'm
Life is
very
better with
excited.
Kelly.
I got my water shoes in the mail yesterday.
Yay!
I got new ones because I lost my other ones. And I didn't like them that much anyway, so I don't care that I lost them. I probably left them on a ship somewhere. They're probably lost on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship from the past. Yeah, I'm very excited. We leave in a couple weeks. So, well, I'm not sure when this episode will come out because I got a little bit of a queue built up so I can have some come out while I'm on the cruise. But
That's okay
yeah,
because there's another cruise coming no matter when it is.
there
Sign
is
up for the
always
next one.
right, and you signed up for the Alaska one in September
Oh, you
too.
did. I'm going on two of them this year.
So excited. Yay. Cruising is life. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's my first one. I'm excited to find out how well I do. I hope I don't get seasick.
I hope you don't either. I hope nobody gets seasick. I want everyone to have the best time ever on my cruises. If you're watching or listening, go to kellykwalker.com/cruise. And I've always got all my available cruises are there to get booked on. So the January one is full already, but the September Alaskan cruise is still open. And January 2026 is open. So we do one every January, no matter what, to the Caribbean. And then we are thinking of adding a regular summer or fall cruise too. But there's always a January speaking cruise where you get to speak on a ship. So go check that out. Kelly K. Walker. It's KELLYKAYE Walker.com. All right, Lydia, thanks so much for being on. This was awesome. You're amazing.
Thank you, Kelly.
All right. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will see you on the next episode. Bye.